I did 8 years in the United States Army. How do you navigate the VA? How do you start school? I kind of think myself as like the bridge to all of the resources and trying to get people to use the benefits that they are entitled to.
Yep.
Anybody can walk in through that hall and knock on their door, schedule an appointment with them, or give them a phone call.
Hey, my name is Blake Fuhriman. I'm the founder for Veterans Navigation Network. And through that work, we get to do a ton of amazing things with a lot of other service providers, helping veterans here in Montana and beyond connect to the benefits they earned and other resources that are out there for them. So in that line of work, I get to work with a lot of great other service providers, and one of those is Daisy Collins, who's joining us today from Montana State University, Billings. Welcome, Daisy.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. And not only are you providing services to veterans in your role, but you're also a veteran yourself, right?
I am. I sure am.
Yeah. Well, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about your service, what branch, when did you serve, and kind of what that looked like for you.
Yeah, so I did 8 years in the United States Army. My MOS was a communication specialist. I started all the way from the bottom up until I ended literally this May is going to be my full 8 years, and then my commitment is done. I finished out pretty much being a platoon sergeant by the time I was done with my time in service and everything, and I really, really enjoyed my time in service, but after doing 2 deployments and trying to raise a family at the same time, I realized that it was time for me to focus on family and come home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For me, coming home, I definitely could relate. I was, a lot of factors that led me to getting out of the service, but a couple of things that impacted me were purpose and camaraderie, separating from the military. Did you have like key things that you recognize getting out that you missed from the military, or like what were the big transition pains that you've had?
Yeah, I mean, the camaraderie is definitely one of them. I mean, I was always with my guys. They were like my lifeline a lot of the time. I mean, 24/7, you're always with them in the trenches. You're doing all the hard work. You're having the late nights and everything like that. And I was fortunate enough that my spouse was also a veteran and also in the military, so he understood the transition of like coming out and like not having the camaraderie where you're like, I'm with these people 24/7 and now all of a sudden I don't have anybody. That was really hard. And then for me, I think it was the lack of structure and being able to have communication to resources, figuring out where you're supposed to go as soon as you're done, because I feel like the military just says, here you go, you're done, here's your DD 214, and by the way, that's it, kind of thing. No, how do you navigate the VA? How do you start school as a civilian, kind of thing? All of those it was really hard, especially for my husband and I, just trying to navigate all of that and just being brand new parents too.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So
for me, the easiest thing, I think, when I got out and what I did to kind of survive was going to school with my GI Bill. Compared to like VA disability, I was denied right out the gate for service connection for VA disability, VA healthcare. I had to wait several months before I could get in. The only thing that was semi-straightforward was going to school. But I think a lot of that has to do with who's in the position like you're in at that school, who the school certifying official is, who the veteran director is. So thankfully the one I went to had a really great veterans director and actually cared. And I'm happy to see you in that role, because I know you have that lived experience of being a veteran and using your GI Bill, all that stuff. But I guess can you go into what you really do for MSU and what your role is there?
yeah, so I mean, I kind of think myself as like the bridge to all of the resources and trying to get people to use the benefits that they are entitled to. I can't tell you how many times I have veterans come in and they're like, well, I don't even know, I'm not service connected, but I don't think I'm eligible for my education benefits or anything like that. So for my role, it's, okay, well, let's look at the resources that we have for you. Let's actually walk on over to the hall across and talk to the VA and see if we can get you a certificate of eligibility and start getting you into school. Mm-hmm. You did your time in service. Let's see what benefits the VA can now work for you, kind of thing. So that is one of the biggest roles. Obviously, certifying students that are currently already in school, trying to use their benefits, whether that they're trying to figure out how many credits they need to be taking, what degree path they want to go into a lot of the time. So a lot of the times I have students come in and they're asking me, hey Daisy, I don't know which direction I want to go in. This is my military experience and I really like what I did, but I don't know quite how to use my experience and try to put it into a civilian job. Right. So then I just kind of look at that experience and then I say, okay, well, let's look at all these career options and let's talk to your advisor on the civilian side and see where we can kind of get some things going, take some trial classes, see if you like it or not, and if not, I mean, at least the VA is paying for it and it's in your degree of study, right, kind of thing. So
yeah, I think that's where that peer, like having an actual veteran in your role that understands some of that resume translation, if you want to call it that. I remember when I first got out looking for a job, went to the job service in the state, it wasn't in Montana, but went to the job service and showed them my military record, and they're like, okay, well, you can be a security guard or a police officer, and that was the only two options that I was given. And you know, you mentioned earlier kind of being in the role of platoon sergeant and just how much responsibility somebody in that role has. I mean, not just accountable for people, but millions of dollars of equipment and, you know, potentially leading, you know, depending on what you did in the military. I mean, like in my role, leading some other local nationals too as we were on deployment. And so, I mean, talking language barriers and all kinds of things like that that people in the civilian sector don't necessarily know that veterans have experience in. Not to mention, if you go to WLC or ALC, the Warrior Leader Course or Advanced Leader Course or whatever they call them in each respective branch, I mean, very, very few employers can afford to send somebody for a week or 3 weeks to a leadership course. Mm-hmm. And we have so many veterans getting out that have spent a week just on leadership and then actually use that leadership. Mm-hmm. So I think having somebody who understands those things and helping direct them to what career or what, you know, direction for education that they potentially have is very powerful. So I'm grateful for you in your role.
Appreciate that.
We've talked before about some of the other things that you want to do in your role, not just directing resources, but also maybe touching a little bit on that camaraderie. Talk about that.
No, I think when I interviewed for this position, it was something that I talked to our vice chancellor about, and I said, you know, the one thing that I miss is when I was a student at MSUB was there wasn't really a lot of events or anything like that that were geared. We had our Thanksgiving dinners and that kind of stuff, but I'm like, another way that I feel like we can bridge gaps and build a camaraderie and also help with our students feeling like they have a place of belonging is maybe doing like once a month in the fall. This is my plan, is doing once a month in the fall where I can provide my veterans and military affiliated students that are a part of our programs and stuff a lunch and being able to connect them with various resources, whether that's having BNN coming out or having Operation Juliet or all of these different organizations within the community and even the departments in our university, just to be able to come and talk to our veterans, have it be low stakes for them where they don't feel like they're obligated, they have to come. This is another voluntold opportunity that they're kind of being told. That's something where I'm like, I don't want that environment for them. I want them to feel like, yeah, you know what, I get free pizza out of it, and yeah, I have to talk to a few people, but hey, at least I get to meet somebody that's in a different program that maybe I don't know, but hey, I might have a connection with them that maybe they like rock climbing, maybe they like kayaking, maybe they like going hunting and stuff, and now I have a new friend that I can actually bond with, and I can hang out with them outside of school too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, like I said, camaraderie, just finding people who understood was a huge thing for me in that transition. And if you add in some education to it or some other resources or some other programs that are out there, I think it makes it even more powerful. So we recently have been doing Red Friday socials, and we actually open it up to anybody to attend because we want not just veterans there, but active military and also their supporters. I think that's an important, I was just talking to somebody up in Great Falls, and they have the, Malmstrom Air Force Base up there, and a lot of concern around the community almost taking it for granted. Like, if that base were to shut down or something, I mean, how huge would the impact be for that community? And so, I mean, people will say thank you for your service or something, but as far as going a little bit above and beyond, or and not that most veterans even want to be thanked for their service, but just having that community support is really important, I think. And so with our Red Friday, that's what we're trying to do, is show that we're still supporting those who are actively serving, those that have served, but then also connecting those community members, because those could be connections for business, connections for entrepreneurship, jobs, I mean, any of those things. And clearly if they're showing up to an event like that, they're supportive of our military, and so it gives them an opportunity to show it. So we've been doing first and third Fridays. First Friday, sometimes we do it at a brewery, and that's not for everybody though. And so we also, on the third Friday, we do a sober one. And so it's, I mean, drink or not, you're welcome to come, but we don't have alcohol there at the event, but it's, again, that same opportunity. We also have veterans who maybe are in treatment court that are coming to that, or maybe they are on their sobriety journey, or again, just another time to get community. Doesn't matter, like I said, if you drink or not. So, so we'd like to see more students at that.
Absolutely. I think we were kind of touching base on it a little bit, how I'm trying to implement a newsletter for all of our students and everybody to kind of know, and any community events or just opportunities that are available to our veteran and military affiliated community. I'm always happy to put those kinds of events. I want people to know that with MSUB, I don't want it to be seen as a bank. I want it to be transactional and to say, hey, I'm here as a resource for you, and I'm okay with not getting anything out of it, because that means I have a way to kind of contribute to my community and the people that have meant the most to me, kind of thing. So if there's any way that my department can kind of help in that, and being able, again, bridge gaps and to try to fill voids where I can, and try to get my students out there to know that, hey, you are not alone. You are supported, and we're always there for you, whether it's my department or a different organization. Like, that's the whole point of the whole camaraderie part of things. So, yeah.
Are there ways that the community can get involved in supporting what you do at MSU?
It's a great question. We're currently reviewing our strategic planning and trying to figure out how we can start incorporating more community opportunities and everything like that. I think coming from a public institution, we all kind of know funding is hard. So the foundation is amazing. So if there's ever the opportunity, fundraising is hard. We all kind of know it in an organization. But if anybody ever wants to do some fundraising with us, we're happy to do it all together, kind of thing. Community outreach, like I said, if there's opportunities where you want our students to be incorporated in things, please shoot me an email, give me a phone call. I'm happy to try to send out as much information as I possibly can to our students, so that way they kind of know what's out there and everything. I feel a lot of the time they're bombarded with just school and they're just focused on school, but I want them to obviously know that, hey, you have community partners out there. So I think that's the biggest way to kind of contribute. Obviously, there's always funding opportunities, but if there's other opportunities of our students being able to volunteer or internships and that kind of stuff, a lot of our students have to complete an internship of some part, at some point, especially with a 4-year type of degree plan. So having community partners, especially those veteran organizations where our students can kind of join those opportunities, that's great, because a lot of our veterans, they want to stay connected within the veteran community and do those kinds of internships as well.
Right.
So.
So we've talked a lot about students, what you make available to them. If a veteran was interested in going to MSU or to any university using their GI Bill, what's the pathway they would take?
Yeah, so first things first is they have to be able to submit an application into the university and be able to get accepted. Once they're accepted, admissions does a phenomenal job of trying to get them connected to my department. We usually ask for them to at least go through the VA and get a certificate of eligibility, because unfortunately I can't really do much or anything like that unless you have a certificate of eligibility. And even if you don't have any type of VA funding or anything like that, like I said, I can always try to give students opportunities with scholarships and grants. My website at the msub.edu/vets has all of these different opportunities for financial assistance for them. So if they don't qualify for any VA funding, that's okay. We can definitely try to work with other organizations and try to get that kind of funding for them. There's a couple of forms that they have to fill out with us, but once we get those forms going, we start getting them on our certification list for whichever semester they want to kind of take, and they meet with their advisors. Their advisors let us know, hey, we have a veteran here, or we have dependents or active duty reserve students that want to do this. What classes do they kind of need to take? How many credits? We all kind of coordinate. It's all like a ecosystem of just kind of working together kind of thing. So that's how we kind of get them into the system.
For eligibility, what are some cases where you might see somebody not eligible for, say, the GI Bill? Or
so if you, let's say, I'm seeing a lot of post-Vietnam veteran era. If you don't use your benefits within the time period, you don't qualify for the Montgomery GI Bill or the post 9/11 or those kinds of situations. And then that's when we have to go through a tuition waiver and start reaching out to the big higher ups up in OCHI and the education, the vice chancellor and all those kinds of folks up there to try to get them. Those students, I'm seeing the biggest thing, time in service. If they're not meeting time in service, or if they've been dishonorably discharged, those kinds of things kind of put a hitch in their enrollment and being able to access those VA forms and those VA funding. But that's not to say that we can't get them different types of financial aid and that kind of stuff as well. So those are probably the biggest ones we've seen.
Yeah. And even if a veteran is able to access, say, their GI Bill, there also could be other financial assistance for them.
Absolutely. I see a lot of veterans where they're like, oh, I already have my VA funding. And I'm like, I know you already have your VA funding, but fill out your FAFSA, because you might be eligible for all different kinds of grants. Your VA funding will cover your tuition and fees in most cases, but any of that other assistance can kind of help cover any books, any computers, supplies, anything like that. That all kind of goes towards the veteran or their family member or the service member themselves. And then they're able to kind of keep that money for saving it for a rainy day if something were to kind of happen. Like, that's why I'm like, I know you have VA funding, but still apply for your FAFSA, apply for all the grants and scholarships that are out there, because that's free money for you. And even if you get denied, there's no penalty to you,
right? Kind
of thing.
Yeah, just the little bit of time that it takes to apply. So.
Yeah, exactly.
With the veteran students you have in the program now or in the school now, what do you see? Do you have most common education track or degree field?
I have a lot of students that are currently obviously doing the welding program, diesel mechanic, as well as human services, so counseling. Obviously, I think we kind of gravitate towards the counseling side because a lot of us, we love helping people. That's what my bachelor's degree is in. It's in counseling. So I have a lot of veterans in the human services track, criminal justice, trying to pursue more of law enforcement kind of thing. But a lot of the trades too. A lot of people are in the trades right now, and I love that because they're contributing just as much for a 2-year degree as just as much as a 4-year degree kind of thing. So.
Right. Do you see many students using like the vocational rehabilitation program?
Yes, and I feel like it's a common misconception where people think that they're not eligible for voc rehab a lot of the times because they're like, I already have my post 9/11, and I'm like, but you should still apply for your voc rehab if you're 20% and above. Worst case, they tell you no, but you can always apply and appeal it if you needed to once you get a higher rating of it. So, but we do have quite a few students that actually use voc rehab right now. So,
how many family members do you have that are using like their maybe they're a veteran and their life is 100%, and so you have the kids or the spouse potentially using the education benefit that comes with that?
Chapter 35 kind of thing, the dependent education assistance. I think right now we're sitting, I think for spring in total, we had about 200 students in total, maybe a little bit more than that. And I think we were sitting close to maybe about 50 to 60 students or so that were using Chapter 35. Wow. So it's a good number. Yeah. A lot of the other ones are mostly Chapter 33, so post 9/11, and then Chapter 31 with the voc rehab as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. A lot higher number than I thought.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess it's awesome that they're able to use that benefit. Kind of sucks that somebody's hurt so bad that they're at the 100% rating, but that's good. So I mentioned earlier just for me, accessing the GI benefits was easiest out of kind of all my VA benefits. How about for you?
I think for me, so when I got out, I had already started trying to in-process through the VA and trying to get at least my medical stuff taken care of because I had a TBI and some back injuries and stuff like that was just making it hard for me either way, trying to be active duty. So for me, the medical side was probably a little bit easier because I was already starting to be established while I was already in. I think for me, though, trying to enroll in school was probably harder than getting my VA benefits.
Really?
Yeah, because I think the system was clunky, trying to figure out who do I talk to, how do I go through enrollment kind of thing, where do I go to school, where can I use my benefits at kind of thing. I think that was probably the most stressful thing for me compared to like trying to apply for VA benefits. I think they've streamlined it a lot better now with making it available on va.gov where you can apply for your benefits directly through the VA and place in an application, and most of the time between 30 business days or so you'll usually have your certificate of eligibility or your denial letter kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I think the va.gov site and especially the app that they've come out with is probably one of the best things that the VA has done because it does make it so much easier versus before you had My Healthy Vet, and if you want travel reimbursement or to refill your meds, you had to call the VA or file a piece of paper, and who knows where that ended up, and now you can do all of that stuff on that va.gov app. Get not just your certificate of eligibility, but also your VA home loan eligibility, all of those things. So definitely a good resource there. We recommend every veteran that is filing a VA disability claim to go through a veteran service officer. You could file them through va.gov, and some people have had success. That's how I filed my first one, which got denied. And it's because I really didn't know what I was doing. So we recommend everybody do that. And not only are you at MSU Billings, but we've got Montana Veterans Affairs Division there right across the hall from you, right?
Yep. I work very closely with Lindsay and Renessa and all of them over there very closely. I mean, like I was saying, like having a post-Vietnam veteran era veteran that comes in and he's like, Daisy, I don't qualify for tuition assistance, but I want to go back to school. I don't have my VA benefits or like my VA education benefits. And I'm like, well, let's walk across the hallway. Let's go talk to them, kind of thing. We work very closely with them. And luckily enough, we were able to, we're trying for the service member to try to raise his rating so that way he can get education benefits and at least apply for VNRE or try to use some type of benefit that he can be entitled to. So yeah, having them is a godsend over there. I feel like I'm always over there, hey, I need your help with this. Can you take a look for this veteran or at least get him on your books? Because I think we can also help a lot of the dependents too that are surviving dependents and that kind of stuff. I think the system for them is a little bit broken on trying to navigate that. So definitely going through veteran resources.
Yeah, for sure. And anybody can access Montana Veterans Affairs there, not just students.
Yep, anybody can walk in through that hall and knock on their door, schedule an appointment with them, or give them a phone call.
Yeah, very good. Well, I really appreciate you joining us today and telling us more about what you're doing in your new role and the path for our veterans to get the benefits there and through education.
Yeah, so. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, great. So if you're interested in reaching out and getting connected to the benefits that you earn through your service, whether it's education like Daisy's been talking about today, or any of your benefits that you may or may not have as a veteran and just want to learn more, you can reach out to us at veteransnavigation.org or give us a call at 406-435-9308. We'd be happy to get you connected to the right person that can get you taken care of whatever the need is. So thank you everybody for watching and appreciate your support.